Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever and whenever you are. And welcome to Take the Points.
A true underdog podcast.
Yay,
He's back. Wilson's
back.
back. Woo.
Yes.
God, okay, Wilson, did you listen to the past couple episodes, or at least the last one?
Well, of course I did.
How horrible is Steve at the intro? He's so bad.
He changed it up a little bit, and I actually kind of liked how he said, "This is Take the Points."
Yeah, I'm good with that too. It was more like the start and the rap. Sometimes I swear he looks at me with these deer in the headlights look, like, and I'm like, I'm not the lead guy. I'm the assist. I don't
know.
That's the role I play. I don't lead this thing off.
I disagree. I think you are the lead guy, but not on the intro.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. How you doing? Are you feeling good about life?
I'm good, man. Yeah. I'm gonna use. I know, like, Steve's hopefully gonna jump on at some point here. We'll see. He got some kids going nuts tonight, so it's just the two of us to start. But yeah, man, things are good. We're kind of hitting that. I don't want to say dull part of sports, but NBA finals are obviously going to kick off here soon. Eastern and Western Conference finals going on now. Hockey's obviously, Wings aren't in it. Tigers are the main story right now. We still got a ways to go till football starts. There's just not a ton. Yeah, it's kind of a lull right now. So that's why, it's just been outside of the Tigers, maybe watching some hoops, but there's 17 days in between games. It's been a weird vibe.
I just don't care that much about any of these teams. I'm obviously still watching all of them because I love the NBA. But man, I wouldn't have drawn it up to be these teams if I could have written the script.
Did you see the ratings last night? Were like the worst they've been in like 6 years or something. It was like brutal. It's like COVID numbers is how bad it was watching that game.
So bad. Who cares about Oklahoma City and Minnesota? I mean, the people in those cities do, but they're small market teams. The only thing that's even interesting is Shea versus Ant. I mean, two of the best younger players in the league. They're the I mean, they are this generation. You can't even say the next generation. They are the now of the NBA.
Which maybe's a sign, Wilson. Maybe that shows too, like the stars of the real stars of the NBA that people care about. It's this aging crew of guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the LeBrons, the Stephs. Like that's what, at least maybe it's two guys in the same age group that's speaking that way. But like, I don't have the same fire for watching those two guys go at it that I do for, Ant or, whoever it may be. But now granted, Steph and LeBron are, two of the greatest players that we've seen play. So that's probably not an unfair comparison.
Totally. But I think that this year, it's pretty likely, in my opinion, that one of those two guys is going to win it. I currently think that the Thunder are going to win it. I think that they're going to actually win it pretty easily. I think that they beat the T-Wolves in 6, and then they go up against the Knicks and beat them in 6 as well, or 5 or 6.
They're real good. They're so
really
deep too, dude. Their benches, like they're rolling like 10, 12 guys deep, man. It's fucking crazy.
It's kind of not fair. And then you got SGA leading the way as he's just ridiculous. So, but if they don't win it and the T-Wolves go to the finals somehow, then I think they're going to win it. So one of those two guys, in my opinion, is going to start establishing their legacy.
Yeah.
And then, and you talk 5, 6, 7 years from now, when those guys are in their 30s, now it's like, oh, okay, now they have this legacy that you care about, that these other aging players have already built.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's probably why. Yeah. They got a little bit more stock, the LeBron and the Stephs. We've seen them go to battle with each other, and, but even like Jokic is going to go down as, if he keeps up these stats, I mean, he'll be one of the best statistical players that the NBA has seen for his size, the way he can shoot. Like, but even a guy like that, right? It's like, we don't see him even in Detroit. Like, he's not on TV a ton. You know what I mean? You catch him once in a while if he's on a national game, and that's it. Playoffs come around, and that's just the nature of hoops. But I wasn't shocked to see the ratings down so much, but it just was more of we want a new team to win. You look at the ratings, it's like, do we really want a new team to win? But I think it'll be 7 years in a row, I think, of a new
something like that. Yeah, I was
7?
thinking about that the other day, but I really wanted Denver to get there because of Jokic. I wanted to watch him play more.
Good. He's so good.
I mean, they have a good team too outside of him, but he's obviously the major leader there, and he's so good that super deep team that you're talking about in OKC.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost beat them. He took them to 7 games. And
with a coach that took over 2 weeks before the season ended.
I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it because that would have been a great story. And then I on the other side, I really was hoping, that Cleveland or that Boston would be there, because I think that'd be much more interesting as well than seeing like the Pacers. I'm just not interested in.
Pacers, man, back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals. It's crazy. They're this.
It's surprising.
This team you don't expect to be there, that's there. Like the body of Rick Carlisle somehow still coaching, like just crushing it. It's just, I mean, kudos to Indiana. I think I'm pulling for them again in this Knicks series. Because
I probably am too. I just don't care about them at all. Like, there's nothing there that is interesting to me to watch other than the basketball itself. Like, the players, the story, it's just not there. It's just good basketball. Which I love that, but you want the story.
I've entered like last 10 minutes, fourth quarter viewership is where I'm at now. We're like second quarter, I'm good. I'll turn it back on. Oh, it's the fourth. It's a close game. Sweet. I'll watch the last 8 minutes. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like I know I'm willing to admit it. Like that's where I'm at. I'm checking in. It's not like must see TV right now. Obviously the Pistons are out of it, but that's not why. I think it just doesn't have a lot of pop. And dude, we got to say the Tigers are playing so well. Like if I'm given the choice of like watching the Tigers or watching, the game last night, I'm watching the Tigers. Like that's just what I'm doing.
Dude, I'm watching more Tigers than I ever have in my life.
I love it.
I think it's because they are amazing for the first time in a long time.
Crazy.
I saw that they the last time they had a 95 win season was 2011.
Crazy.
And we are on pace right now to be over 100. Now, is that actually going to happen? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to cool off. Everybody will level out a little bit. But if we could even come close to 100, like a 95 win season, who would have thought that would have even been possible? I don't know if this is going into something else that we're going to talk today about Jinxes. But I don't. I'll spoil it for you. I don't believe in them, so I'm very, very willing.
Wilson, I am. We're going to use this pod today. I need to get this off my chest, man. I'm in a dark place right now when it comes to sports. I am in my head. I have this feeling that when I watch these teams that I love, that 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, when I start watching, it'll be like double homer, Tigers are down. And I'm like, shit. Like I told you to end the Pistons series. That last, the last game, I literally did. You saw the text. I stopped watching because I turned it on and things went sideways and I just shut it off. And I'm sitting there texting with my dad and he's like, turn on the game. You got to watch it. You got to live in the moment. And I was like, I can't do it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I got a problem.
I got a question for you then. It's one of these two things. Either you think that you have that much power and sway in the universe that you can change the course of history and the way that people play just by your eyes being on a screen. So either you think you have that much power or you think that God is cursing you and saying, Robbie, you watching this, you care about this. I'm going to make this happen negatively for you. Which one is it?
I'm going to go with one.
You have that much power.
Yeah. I was okay. So I was like, I've been like seriously like looking in, like reading information about like sports jinxes. Cause I just think it's a fascinating topic. Like there's so many times in sports, this came up a couple of weeks ago while I bring it up too, is not only because of this Pistons game, but my dad and I were at the Tigers game. It was that night that Scooble went like 5 innings, like with a perfect game. And then he gave up a hit or whatever. My dad and I were at the game. And my dad looks over to me in like the 5th inning or start of the 6th, whenever it was that he lost it. I can't remember if he went through 5 or he was starting the 6th. He looks over to me and goes, oh, like, did you see this is a pretty special game right now? And I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. I'm watching the game. What do you think happened next batter, dude? Next batter, hit. It's like the sports jinx, whether you want to say it's I'm watching or someone says like, hey, this guy's got a no-hitter going, bam, a hit. Or how many times do you see us in basketball? Like, hey, he's made his last 21 free throws, clank.
Yep.
Like,
no, I know.
It's like you just have to think like the fact that I would think that I somehow have the power to shift a game, which
It's
is
wild.
But Wilson, it's what like my mind. I think to me it's like it's how I rationalize in my mind. If a game doesn't go well, and I like, let's say a game doesn't go well and I wasn't watching, right? I don't think anything of that. Like, oh man, if I would have been watching, they would have won. But if I'm watching and it doesn't go well, I think I'm so pissed that I spent all that time watching like a baseball game and it was 9 innings. Let's say it was 2.5 hours. I did nothing that night. I watched the whole game and then we blow it or something in the 9th. My psyche is just like gone. Like I'm just devastated and it's just something I'm trying to deal with. I'm trying to work through it. I'm coming here for advice. I need thoughts.
I feel the same way. Like when I watch a game, especially if it's like Michigan State basketball and I watch the whole game and it's a close game or we had a lead or something and then we lose, I think to myself, I wasted my freaking night because now I'm just pissed. Yeah. And I ended up spending 2+ hours to just piss myself off. But I think that the way I think about that is that makes the wins even sweeter. It really does. When you know that feeling of defeat and you know that it's very likely a possibility every game. Yeah, man, it feels so much better to win.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's like it's also sports is like the greatest story that ever exists. It's the greatest storyline that you can possibly have. And that's what makes sports great, right? Like you could sit there and watch 2 hours of a great game, Michigan State, and they lose at the buzzer. Like whatever. And we've seen that happen. Think about any sport. Walk off in the 9th, those Pistons games at the end, right? The 3-pointer that goes in at the end of when Jalen Brunson hit that 3 over Asar or whatever. Like you can look back on that and say, I'm so glad I watched it 3.5 hours because it was just like, it's like a great movie, right? It was awesome. The movie didn't end how I wanted to. I look at that and say, damn it, I wish I never would have even watched it in the first place because I'm so angry now that I just wasted time, which is probably a horrible, horrible mentality to have.
But think about it. If every single game you watched was just a guaranteed win, there'd be no stakes. Like you wouldn't even be excited about it because like your heart is pumping because you know the possibility of loss is so real. And that's, I think, the greatest thing about sports, in my opinion, is the stakes. The stakes. And that comes with losses. It's tough. But I know. But just like back to the jinx thing.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry, I got off topic.
No, I think that's great. I think like for me, in the moment think to myself, don't say this out loud because somebody else is going to tell me I jinxed it. Like, so I still hold to I'm not going to jinx this in the moment while I'm watching something. Like I don't say there's a no-hitter going on just because I know that then I will be the one blamed when somebody inevitably gets a hit, but I don't believe in it at all.
Fascinating. I'm probably the worst, Wilson. I suck. I believe truly, like there's been so many great moments that I have not watched live because I've been fearful that I have jinxed them. But like I look at the greatest loss I've been at myself, which is that Lions game in San Francisco. I had probably 50 texts from friends from college up to halftime being like, this is the greatest game ever. How does it feel to go to the Super Bowl? And I said nothing. All I was like, keep going. Like, it was just like, nope, crazy things can happen. So that's a situation where I was in person. I had nowhere else to be. I'm watching the game and it was like the greatest half ever. And I didn't lean into the jinx, to your point. I didn't want to be the one to be like, yeah, I'm booking my tickets. Right. We're going to the Super Bowl.
But dude, you jinxed them by being there.
Right. Maybe that's it. And like, look at this year. I bought NFC Championship tickets before the game. Remember? I was debating about this. Like, do I buy it? Do I not? I don't want to jinx it. I fucking bought them and they lose to Washington. I think it's a way that we cope is what I think. I think it's my mind's way of coping with like, trying to find a reason for a loss, and I put the blame on myself. And even though I have nothing to do with it.
I got a kind of question that seems maybe off the wall, but I think it's related. Do you count the number of steps that you're walking up as you're walking up them? In your head?
If I say yes, am I like
OCD? It's just OCD.
Problems?
Yeah. The jinx is a compulsion for you.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think it is, dude. Do you have OCD? Because I mean, like that. I think that is an actual legit thing.
So my personality trait, which is like OCD perfection, I expect everything to be perfect. And so like when the Tigers player drops a pop fly or something that he should have caught, my immediate response isn't like, we'll get him back next inning. I'm like, you're an absolute moron. How did you drop that ball?
Yes.
Like, that's what goes through my mind.
You can't accept it. Yeah. And I have some of those tendencies as well. I think it doesn't extend to this because I have logical reasoning in my brain.
Now, Wilson, I got to ask this. Are there any, like, you say you don't believe in jinxes. Are you like a good luck type of guy? So let's say you're watching the Pistons and they're losing and they're down by 15 and you're like, I got to move my seat. Like I got to change something up to try to like, you don't think about that at all.
No,
I am so opposite. So opposite.
Dude, my brain just knows that with me being a 30-minute drive away from the stadium, or if they're states away and I'm watching a game, even if they were on my block or I was in the stadium, sitting a different way or moving a cup is going to have zero impact on whether a shot goes in or a pass gets stolen.
Wilson,
it's just impossible.
I could not be on more of an opposite end of the spectrum than where you are.
Walk me through the physics of that.
It's something you cannot explain. There is no logical reasoning of why that would ever be the situation. But look at the rally cap in the 9th inning of a baseball game when fans do that. That is all coming from like we are somehow controlling the outcome of this game. So I think it's just incredible.
I'm going to push back on that because I think the rally cap is like a vibe that is tangible in the actual ballpark. When the players look around and they see the rally caps come out and they feel the energy of the crowd as they're doing that, that can impact their psyche in a way that me changing my seat on the couch at home cannot.
I also can't give away my secrets. Yes, I have a couch, and if the Lions are losing, I'll move to the other couch that we have. It only comes out in certain times. It's like my emergency parachute on a skydive. I only pull it when I need to, and when I pull it, it
works.
Better win.
Does it work? It works
most of the time. But now Wilson, what goes through my mind now?
You just jinxed that.
I just jinxed it. The only jinx I know we've 100% done in our life is we jinxed the Red Wings. 1,000%.
Dude, no freaking way. Because we've talked about the Tigers' hot start. I even had an episode titled Tigers' hot start this season. I was
worried about it. Have you heard me on here when we were talking about the Tigers? I am very non-committal.
I know.
Just, one game at a time. One game at a time. I refuse. Wilson, that's where that comes from. It comes from my fear of things are almost so good that if I say something, they're going to go the opposite way. And to your point, it's coming back to me.
Well, of course, it's about you.
I mean, everything's, listen.
Listen, yes. Well,
I'm the alpha. Oh,
who is this?
Speaking of alphas, there he is.
Wow, with the tank top. Oh, my God. Look at those traps.
Yeah.
Oh my God, good. Dude.
Do you ever not wear a tank to this pod?
Mainly because
ever?
This room is the hottest place on earth.
So are you.
Yeah.
Love that. I love that.
Start over. Let's go.
He is coming in hot. Yeah. Steve, we're going to start off like you start off the pod, which is just butchering the intro every time. It's different words every time you start it. It's great. It's great. Wilson actually said he prefers it. He actually likes it. Classic.
I do. No, I said that I like that you say, this is take the points. Yeah. You said that on the last one instead of welcome to.
Yeah.
I like that. It was your own
my
thing.
Own brand.
Yeah.
See, I think I feel like Welcome flows more with a true underdog podcast. Like it leads, like when you say just like the way you said, I feel like that's like end. That's it. There's no room for like an added context.
Oh, that's true. It's definitive.
I feel like welcome to take the points. It's open. There's room for me to come in and say a true underdog podcast. Now we've
I am so glad I joined this.
Fair.
Conversation.
Well, before you joined, it was even more trivial, actually. We were talking about whether it actually impacts the game when Robbie moves from one seat on his couch to the other couch. He thinks it does.
Steve, are you okay? Okay, before you say anything, Steve, this is the question. Do you believe in jinxes and or what I just said of like you can somehow change the outcome of a game in some couch move or hat you're wearing? Do you believe in that at all?
There's not
really.
There is correlation and not causality.
I call bullshit. You guys got to do something in the middle of a game. Like, come on.
Well,
there will be there will be times if it's a bad
I disagree.
game, it's like I got to just stop watching because maybe they'll turn it around. But
see,
that doesn't.
Okay,
but it doesn't.
Okay,
happen.
that counts.
But it doesn't happen.
That counts. Wilson, this counts.
Hold on,
Steve. That counts. As
let me clarify.
You are
if they do if I stop watching the Lions and then they win, like they make a comeback and they win, I don't suddenly say I have to not watch every game or I have to leave at halftime every time. And I know that's exactly what you do.
But do you think that in the moment, do you think, oh, it's because I stopped watching, they came back and won?
I don't say I don't think it's because of me, but if I'm outside like doing yard work or whatever, and I check the score and the Lions are coming back, I'm like, I'm just going to leave this be. Like, I am just going to leave this be because this is the way it's meant to be.
There's a little belief.
So
you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, you're kind of in the middle there because I would say that it sounds like you are impacted by that in the moment. You think that you are changing the course of the game.
I don't think I'm changing the outcome of the game. I just think that my experience with the game for that day is now over.
But what about when you have somebody on the other side who's doing the exact same thing, like that's rooting for the other team? It's like, oh, I have to do my thing that I always do, or I can't watch because they'll lose. You think it's just like a back and forth, like a spiritual battle of whose jinxes are going to work out or
like who's got more
bad
soldiers out there fighting against the jinx.
That's what Robbie sounds like he believes.
I believe in it. Okay, growing up playing sports, did you guys have like a lucky jersey? Or like something you would like, you had none of that?
No.
Guys, I have so many things I can tell you about that I did. I would wear, and I was a Division I cross country and track runner. Okay, take that for what it is. But awesome. I would wear in high school, all 4 years of high school, I had to listen to the same song before every race started, and I had to wear the same shirt in the warm up. I would wash it obviously in between meets and stuff, but I would have to have this. And if I didn't have it, my mindset was not where it needed to be. And I felt like the stars were not aligned and I needed that to happen. I needed to have those things to be successful.
So in my opinion, that actually matters because you are the one going out and doing the thing. Like your physical body and your psyche has impact over how you run that race. It has complete impact over it. So you need to do those things so that your brain's in the right space. Got it. Like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Because I'm doing it. Because I'm actually doing it.
Yeah, and if you're
when the Lions are playing in LA against the Chargers, thousands of miles away, there's no bearing on what seat you sit in to if Jared Goff's going to fumble the ball.
No.
Steve, I have a distinct memory of when the Lions played the Jets 2 years ago. And they had that 4th and 1 or whatever. And I literally was in the basement vacuuming. If you remember this, Steve, texting you and like,
and that was your thing
to be like, Steve was sending me play-by-play updates because I could not watch the game.
Man,
I don't know.
I'm like media timeout.
I'm trying to get. Yeah. Steve was like, "Wait, quick update." Oh wait, never mind. I just had to go to the bathroom, and we're back.
Quick
it
update.
Was like, what? That's it.
Pause for station identification.
It's impacting the way I watch sports because I'm like I have like the yips when it comes to sports right now, where I feel like I'm having trouble genuinely enjoying watching like the Tigers game without feeling like immense stress that I'm somehow either controlling the game or like that if they lose, like it's just sending me down a dark road. I got to get through it. That's why I'm bringing it to you guys. I just want you to know where I'm at.
Here's the thing.
Am I taking it too seriously? What's going on?
We're now sponsored by BetterHelp, where you can get a therapist.
Yeah.
At the push.
Yeah, right.
Like Robbie, if you talk,
honestly,
this is like OCD behavior. Like I don't.
That's what I said.
That's what Wilson said.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I have problems.
I think
you're
you're
right.
just.
I got problems.
You're just taking it. Like most people are here, and you're way up there with it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Wilson,
you're right.
Going
you're right.
too,
I'm taking it.
I'm sorry.
I know. I was just saying it's a compulsion. Yes. It's the same thing as like you have to tap the wall twice before you leave the house so that you are safe. Like that's a thing, and you might have some of those things you don't have to share. But this
is starting to tiptoe into sports. It's fascinating. It's interesting. It's like as I've gotten older too, I feel like I love winning. I love when our teams win, man. Like I love when we can have those moments. And I think that's where I'm at. I just want it. I want it so bad. I'm holding on too tight. You know? I think that's where I'm at.
You're going to have to tell yourself, though, because with the Tigers right now, they are about to lose some games because they have to. Because there's no way that this is like a 700 team. Like, I mean, it can't be. They'll be the best Tigers team of all time if they are that.
Now you just jinxed them.
And,
son of a bitch.
But see, this is my point. You can't take anything that we've talked about on the pod as a jinx for that because it's just statistically bound to
You're
happen.
just speaking. You're also just speaking like it's like you're just speaking what is reality.
I'm
not
saying
adding
words
any context.
that Tigers aren't even playing right now, and I'm saying words that cannot impact a baseball game that happens in a different day.
Like there's a difference between like Scooble's got a no-hitter going through 7 innings, and you're like, no one fucking talk to this guy because if you say the wrong thing, it's going to throw him off. To him.
Yes, to him. Yes.
But how about at your house?
Right. Versus the Tigers are in first place with a 5-game lead, and Robbie's like, I can't ever wear a different shirt when I watch the Tigers. Those are very different things.
Right.
I feel like I'm opening up so much about my mental status right now when it comes to sports, but I love sports. Like it's on 24/7 at the house. I'm always watching something, and it's like when it's your own team. I think it's like I've talked about before. Like once you start playing not to lose, it takes away from the excitement when you do win, because it's like instead of when you win, it's this excitement. You actually get this relief. And I think players I think you see teams that have that, right? Where like we're the underdog, like the Lions, right? It was like, oh, we lose, whatever. It's house money. We win, great. Like, but when you start having those expectations, I think that's hard. And maybe that's how my fanship is for sports, right? Where like now it's like I just expect and want to win so bad that if we don't, or if we do even, I'm just like, whew. I'm not like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, God damn, thank God we won.
Seriously.
I know.
One other thing I want to just ask about the Tigers right now.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that we are going to because we're going to have some guys come back from injury at some point this season. Some key players, Matt Vierling, Parker Meadows.
Yeah, Parker Meadows, Alex Cobb, the legend.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Groundball himself. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Alex Cobb.
Fact, 15 mil a year. Unbelievable. Go ahead. Wilson,
like on paper, obviously, that makes us way better. Those guys are great. Those guys are key parts of our team. Are you a little bit nervous at all that it changes things up because we have such a good thing going right now? Like, what do you and then what do you do with Javi Baez, who's playing at like basically a Gold Glove level in center field? Like, what? How do you do? Obviously, Parker Meadows is the center fielder. He's better. He's better. But
Parker Meadows is one of the best center fielders in all of baseball last
year.
Like without a doubt.
Absolutely. But Javi's been amazing. Javi's been amazing. And he's been hitting fantastic, and you don't want to throw off his psyche by changing it up on him. Are you guys at all worried about that? Like the shakeups that we're gonna have? Because you're talking about all the, how what socks you had to wear when you were running cross country. Now you're talking about for Javi changing his fielding position during an amazing season for him. That's got to do something to his brain. What do you think about
like it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it type situation.
Yeah.
It's funny. As much as I'm OCD about everything else, I haven't even really been like, oh man, we got to send down Justin Henry Malloy to bring in Parker Meadows. Like shit, the Tigers are going to start losing. Like Wilson, I would say I'm not super worried about it because I think the guys you're ultimately going to send down
are not
like right. I think you have room on your roster. If you had 4 guys that were coming back and now it's like, you got to make a tough call on somebody that's a fringe, roster guy. I feel like they will be able to there's 2 guys on this roster that they can send down that I'm confident. Like right now it would probably be Baду and Malloy would go down as my guess. And then Meadows and Veerling would come up because Veerling can play the infield. Meadows can play the outfield. So I'm not super worried about it. I think what they'll do with Javi, Steve, I don't know what you think, but I think they will, when Parker comes back, he's going to be coming off injury. I think they're going to do some Parker DHs, Baez plays outfield. They're going to move those guys around. I think Baez will play more center field now. Maybe late in games you put Parker in because he is a plus defender, but that's my guess of how they'll handle.
Yeah, I think they ease him back into it, but fast forward to August when everybody's hopefully healthy. I mean, health is probably going to be our biggest challenge this year, no matter what. But if Parker's back and Javi's back, I can see Javi getting some reps at third. I mean, we don't have. Yeah, he's going to have to. He's going to or like I said, Trey Sweeney is good, not great. He can.
He's been swinging a great bat.
He's been hitting the ball, man.
He's always kind of like that 4A player. You know what I mean? Again, Water will find his level there, and if he starts to kind of, which isn't he's not a bad player by any means, but if it's like, okay, we got to send somebody down, and Trey Sweeney's a young kid who can afford to get sent back down and work on some stuff, and still be a piece of this team in the future, do it and put Javi back at short.
Yeah, you play Javi at short. Yeah, I think it'll be like the Cole Keith, Trey Sweeney if it really got down to it, because Zach McKinstry is playing out of his mind right now. He's got the 24th highest WAR in baseball right now. It's insane.
Yeah,
you're not sending him down.
No way.
You have he's like an ultimate utility guy, and then you're gonna bring Veerling up, who's an ultimate utility guy.
Steve, you brought up a good point today about Veerling.
What
that I thought was interesting, right?
Trading him. Yeah.
Steve said, if you're still rolling at the deadline and you get an offer for somebody, you got to throw a guy like Veerling in. Mr. Detroit Tiger, that's what it's going to.
Well, this is where I was kind of going. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. It seems crazy to, especially if we would think about before the season started, it would have been crazy to think about potentially trading Veerling because he is that utility guy and he's
cheap.
And he's a good bat. And so, but at this point I'm like, man, I feel like if we can if we're number 1 team in baseball and rolling with this roster and doesn't look like things are slowing down. I mean, we just had a really great series win against St. Louis.
Yeah.
I mean, that was that game yesterday that we came back, or I guess we were up 4-0 and then they tied it up and we had to find a way to win it in the 9th and they just pulled through. I mean, clutch Riley Green, they just are finding ways to win games. They're not slowing down. I'm like, man, the worst thing that could happen is we do some shakeups of the current situation, send some guys down and the vibe's not the same. And then all of a sudden you start going in the other direction. Yeah. I don't know.
The good news is both of these guys were part of the team last year that excelled. I would be more worried, if we're bringing in a guy that's never played for the Tigers or whatever, you make a trade. I think that's where maybe you risk a little bit more of that. But the fact that these guys are both core gritty Tigers guys, but this is also, it's a great problem to have. We're sitting here shit. I was just telling Steve too, we sent down Thomas Nito or whatever it is, our backup catcher that was when Rogers was here. Yeah. He was great. Dude was hitting good, 330. He might get picked up by somebody. That's a guy that should probably be on a roster right now, but you got to make a tough call. It's a good position to be in. But then you just got to trust with a guy like Hinch and he gets everybody to buy in. Like, I don't think Vierling and Meadows are going to come up whenever they do and try to be Superman. Like, they don't need to do that. You just got to fit in, like, know your role, do your job, and just kind of like go with the flow. So I'm not, it's something to think about. I'm just not as, I see it as additive more than subtractive.
It's so funny to hear the previous conversation we had about Jinxes and all your compulsions, and then to hear you have no care in the world about major shakeups on the Tigers roster.
Well, because they've been here, because they've been up, Wilson. That's why they were with the team
I know, but
all
not
of last
this year.
Yeah, but they went on one of the greatest runs that MLB has seen to end a year last year, and it was all fueled by Meadows and Vierling, which is what
I think there's truth to that.
What gives me hope. That's what gives me hope.
But does then all of a sudden Javi Baez suck again when those guys come back?
He didn't have a good series. He was 2 for 18 the series. So like he swinging out of his ass cheeks like out of sliders again today. So like it happens, man.
Look at Robbie coming in with the zinger, swinging out of his ass cheeks.
So hard your ass cheeks were left in the dust. You just left your ass cheeks.
If there's anyone that could do
it, for sure.
it would be Javi, right? So
I think if there was anyone who was the least likely to say swinging out of their ass cheeks, it was you.
Plus 50,000 odds.
Listen, I've just opened up emotionally tonight about all the inner thoughts that go through my mind with sports. That
you have that
that's
like
just
call of the void or whatever it is, where like you know what I mean. And it was funny because I was just talking about this today too with someone. It's like that when you're on a cruise ship and you're like, I could just jump into the ocean right now, like.
Oh man, I hate that feeling.
That's how Robbie is with sports. He's like, this could all just fall apart if I move seats right now.
It is. That's how I feel. And I would be curious. I want to encourage our listeners, leave some comments if you can here. Are you on Team Robbie here or Team Wilson or Team Steve? All three different. I am at like the far end of, I cannot move off this seat. Wilson is like, I could switch a seat every 5 minutes. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't cross my mind. Never crosses my mind.
Steve's got a little bit. Steve's in the middle there. A little, probably leaning more toward Wilson, but you got a little bit of thought in there of, I don't want to change this up.
I'm more towards Wilson. I feel like Wilson. I mean, I didn't even hear what you said about it, Wilson, but I know, like you know there's no impact, and you can do whatever you want.
The physics of it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I said to Robbie, explain to me the physics of how this would work out. Like
Robbie, it's not working.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Although this can dive into a much deeper non-sports related conversation about like your faith and what you think about the world. And I'll admit it, I'm a very religious guy. I'm a catechism teacher.
Yeah.
I am a very religious guy. When it comes to sports though, I can jinx everything.
See, I mean, I believe in God. I have faith. But when it comes down to, like, do I think that God is caring enough about what seat you're sitting in that he's going to change the outcome of a game because of it? I think that's ridiculous.
This isn't Angels in the outfield where you wish for them to make the pennant so that way.
Dude,
you're waving.
This is me. I'm waving. I'm waving the hands over here.
Far better fish to fry than is Zach McKinstry
than the Tigers Cardinals
sack fly here, so we can tie the game up in the 8th inning.
But even more, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, when you're in that moment, though, like when everyone knows this too. Everyone talks to themselves in their head. We've all like this has been something else that's come up of like everyone. Sometimes you have a little convo with yourself. You're driving to work. You're like, oh man, I got a busy day today. There's no one there. It's just you. When you're in that moment though, and you're like watching the Tigers, and you're just like, come on, please get a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where it comes out. You know, you're preaching to a higher place of like last year, Andy Ibanez hitting that double or whatever, bases clearing triple in Houston. It was like, I was like, come on, you know,
that's
I'm on my
game.
hands and knees being like,
too,
give
that's
this to
that's
me.
A little different, right? Where you can talk to the TV.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm willing to admit that's where I'm at right now. And I'm trying to work through it because I will not make it 17 games with the Lions. I will not make it.
You're going to have
time. I know, right? And Steve, you know what it's doing though, truthfully? It's taken away a bit of the joy because I'm so like upset when they lose or like just like, damn it. You know what I mean? It's taken away the thrill when they win. I'm like, whew, like that was close. And that goes back to my like, you know, playing to not to lose or playing to win. It's just a slightly different
It's the
mindset.
Expectation. Yeah.
I know.
Totally.
Anyways, I have another topic I want to bring up.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Total transition, but there was like 2 NFL rules that were on the docket this week. They ultimately ended up not getting approved, if anyone's aware. One was the Lions' proposal to kind of change the seeding up for the playoffs. Essentially, it would have been every round of the playoffs, it would have reseeded. Being a division winner wouldn't have guaranteed that you have like home playoff or home field advantage throughout the playoffs, what have you. That did not pass. They weren't going to get that through. Number 2 was the tush push. That was the most controversial one. That also ended up not passing. Everyone knows the tush push. The Eagles master it. Anyways, those were 2 NFL rules. And was driving home today on the radio, and I heard this kind of like just pop up, this question of like, if you could change any rule in sports that you think is just stupid, whether it's a rule or a just something that goes back over time, an unwritten rule, if you want to say, what would that be in sport? And then also in life, not just sports, but what other things in life would you want to switch? And I thought it would be a fascinating discussion to have. We can start with the sports one, but is there any rule that you guys think are like, we got to get rid of that, or we got to change it, or it makes absolute 0 sense to have in any sport?
I have 3.
You were waiting. It's like this is the moment you've been waiting for.
I've been thinking about it. I have 1 in baseball, 1 in football, 1 in basketball.
Ooh, okay.
I've always thought that a ground rule double was so dumb because the ball is out of the playing field. They can't get to it. Like, it should be the same as a home run. Like, if you can hit the ball and hit it off the ground and it goes over the fence still, I think that's even harder than hitting a home run.
Overhand right into the
dude, that I swear. It's less
Palace
common.
at the Malice. We got guys Malice at the Palace. Excuse me. We got guys going into the stands to be like,
bounce off Jose Canseco's head one time over.
Yes,
that's
or like
insane.
If it bounces off the glove and goes out, right? Isn't that technically a homer? I think if it bounces, it's definitely interesting.
But think about that. Like,
I like the idea of changing it, but if it bounces out, like that's, I don't know. I feel like that's weird giving them a homer, but
it's harder to do than a home run.
I would agree with that too, Wilson. But for like when a guy's on base, that's where I don't like it. If a guy's on first and he clearly was halfway to third and it was a ground rule double, he's got to go back to third. That I hate. I think it should be like, all right, if he was obviously going to score even without it going out, then I hate that they bring it
I think
back.
that's
that
part
I
of the
agree
rule.
with. The home run, no.
I think I don't like the part of the rule where you can only advance 1 base. That's where I think it's stupid. But it does remind me, like when you played Little League and the ball would roll under the fence. Remember, like in the outfield, the ball would roll under the fence. You have to put your arms up, right? So they knew you couldn't get the ball.
Yep.
Even in baseball, they do that. I think if it gets stuck underneath the outer, and the player just stops and looks down, he's like, I can't get it. It's like, you can fucking get it. Come on.
It's so
right,
stupid.
Wilson. What else you got? What else you got?
The other thing is, I think that 3 in the key without guarding in the NBA is dumb as shit, because it's actually, if you aren't guarding somebody and you're standing under the basket, that player should be able to score. Like, they're not guarding you. Like, the person that you should be guarding, that 5th guy on the other team, just give him the ball and he should be like, I don't even see the need for that. Like, okay, sure, somebody's like a Rudy Gobert just clogging up the paint, and the 5 on the other team is as a non-shooter. Okay, maybe it impacts there, but it's like, so what? He's standing under the basket. Take it to him. It's like, I don't see why that should be a thing.
I agree with you there, and I feel like it's often not called.
It's so often not called that it's laughable. You could probably call
15
it
times a game.
On like every other,
unless you're on or unless you're Jalen Duren getting called like 5 times in that Knicks series, but
then it's that. Then when it stands out like that, it's like, okay, makes it even more dumb, because then you could you could have called somebody else 5 times in another game. Anyways, and then my last one is, I don't think that there should ever be an ineligible receiver downfield.
Ooh,
I think let all those guys be eligible receivers. Why the frick not? Why not?
Throwing it to Frank Ragnow down the center, don't care.
Why not?
Dude, why?
Imagine what Ben Johnson could have done with that, or Benedict Johnson, we should say now.
Yes.
Imagine what he could have done with that.
But do you guys know what is the reason why? Like, why?
I think it's and Steve, maybe I believe it has to do a bit with player safety, because when those guys go down the field and start blocking Wilson, if you're a corner and you're in coverage and you have Penei Sewell who's sprinting down the field and he's blocking you, I think it's a safety issue. That's why they do it, because you got like 5 people rolling down the field with like a defenseless corner that can't see him coming, and you can just lay him out.
And I think
but
going the other
that
way
could be
too,
wrong, but that's what I think.
You got Frank Ragnow catches the ball, like you gotta hit him low to stop him, and you're hitting a 300-pound dude below the belt, like.
Dude, I mean, then get beefier if you can't handle it.
I like it. Yeah, step up. Raise up.
All right, sorry for having so many.
No, that was great. Steve, do you have anything off the dome here or what?
One is, and I'll preface this, I am not a fan of this sport really at all. I don't watch it. I know it's the biggest sport in the world, and that's soccer or football. You might call it.
Football.
Our friends overseas might call it football. The offside.
The football.
In football, where you can't be behind a defender. Like, what if you're just faster than that asshole, and you beat him?
Well, that's not. I mean, but that's not what offside is.
Defender, if you're behind the furthest defender, and they pass you the ball, and you're the first guy there on offense.
Yeah, but that's. Well, the idea is that you don't want someone cherry picking down. Well, at the end that you can just kick the ball along and he's waiting down
cherry picking, then you're playing. You're on a penalty kill essentially, right?
Interesting.
But if
that's like
the way
I sort of agree.
It always gets called, right, when you have like a guy breaking down the field, and the dude with the ball kicks it, and he just beats the defender by 3 steps, and receives the ball, and then has a wide open look at the net, and they're like offside. It's like no, this is why no one watches fucking soccer, because it's 0-0 after 97 minutes, and you call
like
3
it's like number 1
breakaway plays offsides. Yeah. It could be 2-1 and be more exciting.
I think it would bring more people to watch, because it would be higher scoring for sure. Like,
it's already like the number 1 sport in the world. So
no, I'm talking about like if you wanted people in the United States to actually care about soccer in masses, then maybe the MLS should pilot
You think the offside rules?
I think it's part of it. I think
it's the low scoring. It's the low scoring.
It's almost counterintuitive, right? That net's the size of a fucking school bus, and like it's 0-0. It's like how are we not getting that tiny ass ball?
Because all the guys are offside, Steve. That's why.
No, it happens so much, Robbie. I don't know how much you want.
I don't watch it.
Okay, how about hockey? Do you agree with that with hockey? Do you think there should be an offside in the NHL or not?
Offsides in hockey is a line.
That's the same thing in
soccer. It's just a moving line. It's wherever the last defender is.
So that's what I mean. But in hockey, you get the breakaway. Someone coughs the puck up, right? And you have a 2-on-1, but you can't be, and you cross, right?
Yeah,
and you cross
as long as the puck crosses before you do.
You cross the blue line, right? And the defender's on you or taking away the pass. However he plays it, you still got an open look at the goal.
Well, it's because hockey, it's not about the defender. It's about the puck going in before you do.
It's like the defender.
Yeah.
Because then
interesting.
You get in this,
I did not think you were going to go that route.
The defender's here and the guys, the offensive players here. How close is it to being fair?
Especially when they don't have instant replay. That's always going to review it every time. I know that they've started to do that though.
Yeah,
and
soccer's got it now. Soccer they will do it.
But I'm talking about in like high school, or I don't know if they do that in college. No. So that's where it's really impactful.
I don't watch the sport
I don't know
a ton, but the other.
I'm kind of indifferent on it. Having played soccer, I just feel like then you really do get the cherry pick. Like you're just like booting the ball down and no one's down there. That also doesn't make for anything great either. But Steve, I get what you're saying to your point. Then defend against it.
The old hockey 2-line pass, right? You can't do the 2-line pass.
Yeah. Or maybe your answer would be in soccer, establish a solid line. That's like an offside line. Yeah, that's a fair. And maybe that's the compromise. Maybe that's the compromise right there. You just hate soccer.
I can get into it. It's just I
think that's the.
I just like I watch a 0-0 game.
Yeah, I know.
I fucking want to rip my beard off.
Yeah.
But the other rule I have is in hockey, that little trapezoid where the goalie can play the puck. Like I don't like. That's so stupid. Just let him play the puck wherever, and whatever happens. It's just Like,
True, I agree.
You have to play in this little tiny trapezoid, and
You mean when he can touch the puck, so he can't be like he's just in there.
Sure, you can't. Yeah, he's not going to skate up like Goldberg and the Mighty Ducks and just, you know what I mean. But he
you know, I'm just imagining like the goalie, the puck's in the corner, and he's just jumping out with his glove, trying to cover it up to get the whistle.
But I mean, that little trapezoid where you can only play it in that little spot is just silly. It's just so silly.
Yeah.
Expand it.
Or
at least expand
that
it.
whole spot.
I don't know.
That whole area behind the net.
But what is that going to do? He's not going to grab the puck behind the net. What the hell's the point of that?
It just looks silly. That little trapezoid back there just looks silly to me.
Okay, so it's more of the looks.
So Steve has OCD as well.
Sure.
Yeah,
yeah,
there we go. So Steve's two least favorite sports, soccer and hockey, have the two rule changes that we like the most. Okay, that's fair. I'm okay with that one.
What's yours, Robbie?
It's hilarious. I got a couple too. One is going to be in football, and I've hated this rule forever. Can we get rid of the 10-second runoff? Like at the end of the games.
Yeah,
I know the Lions got effed on that in that Falcons game a couple of years ago. It's just a weird thing. Like there's so many ways you can manipulate that rule at the end of it. Like we got fucked in that game against the Falcons because the refs made the wrong call. And I just think it's dumb to be like, by rule, it's a mandatory 10-second runoff when the officials stop the play. That should not.
The problem
it should not be a
10-second runoff. But the game can't end on a review. So they should have had zeros on the clock and had one free play.
Yeah, you get one free play. Right.
It's manipulating time.
Yeah, I just think that's
manipulated time.
I think it's just dumb. Yeah. I hate the rule in baseball having a guy in second base to start the
extras. I kind of like it. I kind of like that. At least during the regular season.
I think it should be one out then. Steve, I think it should be one out because what I don't like is you cannot get a hit in that inning and you can still score a run. You don't have to hit the ball. You hit a deep fly ball, guy tags up and goes to second. You hit another fly ball, the guy scores, and you could lose the game with the other team not having to ever get a hit. And I just don't think that's...
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's just a weird... I'm okay with it. Maybe put him on first with no outs. I'm fine with that.
I could compromise there.
Put him on second with one out.
Isn't it similar though to football where they now like when they get into the overtimes, like long overtimes, they start at like the freaking 10-yard line or something? Isn't that a thing now?
In college.
In football, yeah. College, okay.
Similar thing there.
Wilson, that was going to my other thing that I don't like is when you get this third overtime now in college, they just go 2-point conversions back and forth. It's so stupid.
I think so too.
The whole game's coming down to a fucking 2-point conversion. How many of those plays do I have in my playbook? Now, granted, that's a unique situation where a game goes 5 overtimes, but I just think it's just like that's how we're deciding a game. I've just played 65 minutes, and I'm going to lose this game on a 2-point conversion play.
Yeah,
like,
that they didn't earn because they didn't score the touchdown to earn it.
It's just dumb. Yeah, I just think it's. Yeah, I think that rule is stupid.
If they made it just a touchdown and you have to line up from the 7-yard line, and made it worth
I'm
6,
okay with that.
It's literally the exact same thing.
Yeah, but it's like true, fair. Yeah, because what I don't like is you have this great game going on, and then all of a sudden you put everybody at like the 3-yard line, and like that's where we're at. It feels like just let them play it out at that point.
Right,
Why are we have to go to the 2? Let them go to the 25. If they turn it over, they turn it over.
I
think
25 is the closest they should go. Yeah,
like whatever. Steve, it's not about the 2-point. You're right. It's not about what they call it. It's about the fact that they give you the ball at the 2-yard line, and it's like, okay, so all right, that's the end of the game, huh?
That was kind of fun. I hope. Oh, I know you have more. You have another one.
There was only one other one. I'm curious your guys' take on this because this can go one way or the other. Is going to be in football. The pass interference call. It's different in college and football, or college and pro. Where college it's spot foul versus the 15 yards. I'm like, do we like the 15-yard or do we like the spot of the foul? Because
this is a good question.
The argument to doing the 15 yards, right, is that like it just doesn't become like your game isn't over if you give up a 50-yard pass and you pull them down, right? But the opposite of that is then you're just gonna have guys that are getting beat, just right. They're just gonna be hacking dudes. So that's the only one. I don't know. I think I lean on the 15 yards just because why not?
Well, but I agree because if you're putting it at the spot, then you're basically saying that guy was
That's what I
guaranteed
don't
going
like.
to catch the ball, which you don't know. You don't
Yeah.
know that at
Robbie
all.
could have switched his
Yeah.
seat, and that
Right.
catch would never have been completed.
That was
Yeah.
a great way to tie it all
Yeah.
together.
Those are my thoughts. How about life? How about screw sports? Is there any rules? Now again, it can't be like, I want to like do something horrible in the world. That's like a law. But like, let's think of dumb processes,
like
whatever it is. Yeah.
I mean, the obvious one is the freaking way that they seat in airline. Like when you're
Yes.
boarding the plane, it's so stupid.
That was number one for me,
the first class
Wilson.
people, the comfort plus people, they need to
What,
get on the
dude?
plane first so that they can
Yeah,
sit
'cause
there
you-
for
'cause
longer.
You get free
Sit in the
drinks.
death
That's
tube.
why you go. You get there. Your
Dude,
drinks are complimentary. You don't got to wait for all the pours to get on. And
Dude, but then think about this from a process standpoint. Now everybody's got to walk past you with their
Yeah.
luggage that they're carrying, and you're sitting there, and you got to try to scoot past all these people, and then you got to stop halfway on or every 2 seconds so that somebody can put their bag up. They need to seat the last row first. Then nobody waits for anybody to be putting
Yeah.
their bag up. Just seat it in order. This should be like Japan does processes. Like, just
you mean
make
when
it
they
make
shove,
sense.
When they shove
It's like Aldi.
730 people in a train car, and like they have literally police officers outside shoving them all in. Have you ever seen those videos?
Well, and it works. It's efficient.
Yeah,
It's
when
efficient.
like the door closes and it, like pushes your face.
And they're alive, and everybody gets there.
I do think being on a plane in general is just like you see the worst in people all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson, I agree with that. Was my number one, was like, because in Europe they'll load like both at the same, like you'll have like someone going in, right? Don't they have like both the doors open or whatever? And then it's not like, they actually will load you up on the tarmac sometimes too. So you have like two lines going at the same time. And can we have, when I check a bag above my seat, I have a designated place for my bag.
Absolutely.
I'm 13A. 13A has its own slot for a bag. And if I choose not to use that, then I mark it on my ticket or whatever, and then that becomes assigned to somebody else. Because otherwise, we got people, there's no room for my bag. I'm going to go back in 30B, but you're sitting in 15A, which means your ass when we land is trying to go through all the people to get to the bag.
Dude, it sucks. It sucks. This is why in Delta you need to be at least zone 5. If you're beyond zone 5, you're probably not even going to get to check your.
You're dead.
You're
You're
going to have
dead.
to check your roller bag at the gate for
Why-
sure.
why are
We
you
were
even
so
flying
late
at that
when
point
we
if
went to
you're
Disney World,
zone
we were
5?
so late for our flight because like my family has no concept of time. We were so late; they were calling our names. And I've never had my name called at the airport. I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "We got to get there." And they were like, "Yeah, you guys, there's no room for any of your stuff." And we all had like the little kids had their carry-ons and stuff. I was like, "Just fucking take it all, dude.
Get me on the
take
plane.
it all, and
Give me on.
give me a margarita."
I love it. Do we have any other rules that we don't like outside of boarding? That's more of a process that we think could use some optimization for improvement.
Yes.
Is there anything else in real life that we think that we would want to
You know
change?
what I don't like. It's not necessarily a rule, but when the self checkouts at the grocery store, there's 13 of them and only 4 of them are open. Like, what do we do? Like, why is that? Because it's 4:00 on a Wednesday. Like, no, open the bitches up, dude.
I agree.
Like, we got places to go. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Feels like, yeah. So we're all about the process
Yes,
here.
big
We're
process people.
nothing's. And there's probably more that we could think of over a longer period of time.
I have another one that's just personal. That's more like not nobody experiences this other than a small group of people like myself.
Elite athletes.
Where, yeah, people who can give the player perspective.
Wilson's like I really hate the thunder
during a
sticks. They
free
really
throw.
distract me at my rec basketball games. I'd still make 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, but the thunder sticks just distract me.
Oh, I definitely would make at least 8 out of 10. No, it's that when you're trying to be in a band, as I am, and you want to get on to the lineup of a tour, okay? There is 0 chance that you can get on that, even if you have people that want to see you, you have more monthly listeners than other people, you have more followers, you've built up a thing, unless you have a booking agent that is also booking for bigger bands. Because then they just trade. That's like it's not a rule, but it's just the way
it's
it
all about
happens.
who you know.
It's they just trade. It's like, oh, I'll put your small band as an opener for my big band on this tour, but you got to do that for me as well. So you could just never get on good shows.
Interesting.
So,
That's not where I expected you to go with that at all. And you're right. That is a
sucks.
subset of people, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If that's Wilson, if that's what's grinding your gears, man, like
that's what's burning your pancake, bro. Let it flip.
Like you just
It has for years. It's the same thing where it's like they no longer let like local openers on most shows. In the heyday of like emo and scene music, it was like, you're the local band, you can open the show potentially for like Good Charlotte, or like Paramore comes to town, you could play that show. Your band
not anymore.
No,
it's all about who you know, brother. That's life, man.
That's life.
Right? It's like your status on Delta, dog. You're born in Zone 6. See ya. They don't care if you get on the plane or not.
I'll watch you guys all walk.
Like right. And if you're one of those nuts people that sits on the window, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, because aisle's clearly superior, but that's not nor here nor there.
If you're not aisle, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, are you
Wilson? You better agree with this.
Are you 12 looking out the window at?
I'll say the only reason that I would contend there that the window seat is potentially better is I don't want to have to ever get up for somebody else once I've gotten on the flight. And when you're sitting on the aisle, there's two people that could potentially make you have to get up because they have to go to the bathroom. And that's the worst part about the flight for me, is I have to either wake up, stop my movie, or I'm working on my laptop and I have to shut it down and put the tray table up.
Take the seatbelt. What you do is when they say, you just look at them, you say, "No, you're all set," and they sit back down.
Or Steve just says, "Go ahead, hop over, big dog.
Just pick them up.
Let's see if you can fit." Yeah. And then Steve wears his tank when he does that too, so no one's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna hold it. I'm just gonna piss in my seat. I think I'm good. Thanks. I'm not gonna try to go by."
There's some weird shit on the airplane. I sat next to a girl one time that just covered herself with a sheet, like a bed sheet, like a white bed sheet, and looked like a fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost. The whole flight.
Wow.
Like that was the whole flight. It was
sounds like an invite.
Weird. She put it on and put her headphones on over the sheet. I was like, she's identifying as a ghost. And
she was vaping under there for sure.
Yeah, right. God knows what was going on there.
There's people too who are just vaping openly. Awesome. Also weird. Knew the guy very well. Wasn't a fan.
I don't want to breathe in that shit. Come on. Get that out of here.
Yeah.
Well, anyways. Well, that was, I'd say, so no other, that was, I thought we'd have more, and I can't think of anything off the top of my mind outside of the Wilson, you took my airplane one. But in terms of processes, things I don't like. Costco, we could use some bags. Yeah. We don't need to do the boxes when we check out. We could just use a bag. But
I'll say, yes, the boxes at Costco, right? Like, is this the reason that you're giving me
get a bag?
Paper towel at such a good deal? Is because you're not carrying bags?
Yeah. Of which that would frustrating.
No.
Old crusty boxes is what I do. I pay for my executive membership at $125 a year. I don't need to load my groceries in an old banana box that's soiled with banana juice in it. I would just prefer a brown paper bag, maybe, or a plastic bag.
I also said there's a rule that I wish existed that doesn't exist, and it is
steroid use.
No,
in pro sports.
Well, yeah, that too.
Okay, you have to use steroids.
If we're going to go back to the sports thing, I think most PEDs should be allowed. But that's a different topic. I think there should be a rule on custom license plates. Like you can't have that custom license plate because it's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like when someone.
It's like it has to pass the Steve check, like when it says like someone says like louder or something on it, or like. I
remember when I worked out in Birmingham for a while. When I used to work out there, I would hit the gym in Birmingham, and there's this woman there. She was probably in her 50s, just like Real Housewives of Birmingham type lady, and
Birmingham, Michigan, by the way, for those that may not be. Yes, it's a very, very, very yuppity area.
Very different from Birmingham, Alabama, I'm sure.
Which the three of us do not live in Birmingham. Let's be clear about that. But yes.
But she drove like this purple Camaro with yellow pinstripes, and the license plate was Love LUV 2, and then PRR, love to purr. And I was like, you are cheating on your spouse, first of all. Like, there's no doubt about that.
Wow.
And secondly, someone at the DMV has to go, ma'am, we're not gonna allow this. Like, we have to reject
can't do that.
this.
Yeah.
Like, show me your picture, show me your custom license plate, and it's a no. Sorry.
I think it should be like we're going to the Steve Secretary of State. Is that what this is? We're going to the
I more so like the rule that you have to use steroids if you're going to play professional sports.
Yeah, no,
you don't have a choice.
Wilson, I don't think that was just Steve just saying you have to use steroids for sports. I think it was just in life in general. No matter what you do.
Literally everybody.
Yeah. Like I might juice up tonight.
Should.
I don't know. We'll see how the night goes. I don't know. I'm thinking that way I can have some muscles.
When I'm 114 and you guys have been dead for 40 years, it's.
What is this? Tuck Everlasting? You drinking from the fountain of life?
Yeah.
What a call! Tuck Everlasting. Oh
my
God.
Come on, we love that. We love that book in middle school. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, this was great.
Well,
this was great.
We got to shut that down. Because that was I could go on for another hour about that.
But just be. You know what? You might see a couple more of these episodes where we.
I could probably think of 10 more rules in sports that I.
I like
there's a wide list.
I think it's my favorite.
I do too.
Yeah. Leave some comments if you got thoughts on either. We would appreciate the feedback. If you got something you don't like, or if you think one of the three of us or all three of us are morons, please comment.
Please tell us. We love that. Yeah.
If you can be specific with who it is too, that'd be great. Just to make sure I don't lose my confidence.
You can
Thank
vote for who's the biggest moron.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All three. Easy answer.
It'll be a tight race for second place between Robbie and Wilson.
Yeah. Hey. Fair. Okay. Yep. I'll take that. That's fine.
Oh. All right. Well, we got to get out to a Tigers game because they're unbelievable and we're blowing it because we've not gone to a game together. So we got to do that. And then everybody out there listening. Yep. Go ahead.
Sorry. Just the Tigers game.
June 13th, really excited.
Ludacris is playing after the Tigers game.
I saw that.
Is it does the ticket to the game get you the Ludacris show?
He's playing he's like the post game performance.
Sick. I didn't know they did that.
But I was
Let's
I
go.
love me some Luda.
Yeah. Well, is that a Friday?
I think it is.
What if we
have tickets? Because I got my
let me see. We might have the dance recital stuff that day. I gotta see. That might be our dance recital day. I'll let you know.
Well, we can figure this out.
If there's a day, if it's
what I was going to say,
a possibility.
Like Ludacris, or if Pitbull comes to town too, we should do.
Luda.
This is great because then I was going to say, everybody out there listening, if we're going to go, we should announce the date and everybody can come up meet us and we can sign autographs.
Yeah. So we'll see all of our friends. We'll show up because that's the only one that listens to this pod.
And you can tell us who's a moron in person.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Cool.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for listening to another hour and 7 minutes of Take the Points. We appreciate you. Leave us comments, share the show, and as always, we'll see you back here very soon on Take the Points,
a true underdog podcast.